haters that literally are, as I've looked across this platform community, people are doing the same dumb constructs for adults. And make no mistake about it, as I've stated in previous posting, I don't care to be a content creator. I'm not trying to be popular as a grown person. I mean, if you are, then that just depends on what you're into. I'm just not into it. I very much would rather watch some of your items and not mine. But just because that there is so much of people that don't behave like adults, men that don't behave like men, men that don't sleep with women as well, that are literally taking out their psychiatric frustrations on myself in particular. And some of you, you have this similar stories about men who are literally losing their marbles more so probably because of neurosyphilis, and other degenerative mental conditions that are mimickers of literally manic episodes, but they manifest nonetheless. And these persons are installating into the public query literal chaos, domestic terrorism that because the front facing of law, it they record, and then the internal aspects they're but these are run by persons that most likely are in inferior, some, not all, non-elite fraternal type orders, or just literally deranged in their capacity to think and or maintain their own family. How do you have the time to relegate across multiple facilitations, calling yourself hazing, the direction about how I eat, how other people eat, about what's going on inside of my contact list, my phone, doing video suppressions using, again, and we're going to state this, it's TPC code injections and Smurf packet operations, literally trace hopping and literally trying to change the direction that a video goes so that it comes to your man in the middle attack system, going either back to your media company or wherever you have it at your telecommunications company, or using rogue bot dollar harassment. And you have children to take care of. You have children that you don't use your own money to take care of. You call yourself a proud parent, and you send them to school to integrate around other reasonable minded people's children with this indoctrinized mindset as if you are normal, you're and don't enact sociopathy. And again, we've stated this in another video, because you are not schizophrenic or bipolar, you having a DSM-5 category psychological insistent is definitely a problem. And you can definitely, well, per this state, have your child taken and apprehended if you're engaged in organized criminal activity. If you cannot pay for your child with your own money, and literally, these are grown men. And let me tell you, some of them are very grown. And some of them are grown women too that can't take care of your children. Let me tell you something. I know damn sure I'm not your baby's fathers. I'm not the baby daddy. I'm not any of that. You need to go aspect and find some person whom is willing, as I stated in the previous video, that's willing to be some sort of, fail safe for your non-use of a spermicidal to literally not have the children that you have because you're not taking care of them. I am literally surprised that certain persons, and we will name you specifically if we need to, are literally gung-ho about chasing myself instead of having the attorney general go and find their fathers, or literally relegating to the aspect that it's no one else's responsibility to take care of the children in your household but yourself. But I think that these people, and it's not thinking, it's very much evident, they're trying to find nice people, or people with nice tax brackets, or people that they can use their sociopathic uh, whims to literally inundate with literal enabling factors so as to take care of your lifestyle, as well as your children. See, it's not really about the children. It's really about these persons that are grown persons that want to choose the path of least resistance. And so you're, instead of doing things as a reasonable minded person does, a professional person, as to, if you have an issue with the government, you go do a peaceful protest. You don't go around and terrorize the public because the president has taken you off of Section 8. He has taken you off of whatever allocations of medical, whatever that you expect for it. When you have made up conditions, you tell the people in your household to have made up conditions so that it can garner you facilitation in some sort of non aspect of having to work for your own life, as if you are literally some sort of, benign aspect of some sort of royalty that comes from at world somewhere. This is literal delusionment. And you're right, you probably do need government assistance in this aspect of medical health because you are highly delusional, but being delusional does not make you absolute from enacting total crimes that insist upon your full knowledge of going through sociopathic and psychopathic insistences and literally enabling qualities. And then this is the kicker. I know some of you, and everyone knows these persons in their neighborhoods or other, if you've seen them on some type of TV show like, one of those talk shows that may have used to come on, they literally are running rampant in the city and they're becoming mad at myself for voicing my freedom of speech, and I'm going to always do that. You're going to have to kill me in order to not have the words that come out of my mouth aspect as so that I'm not here to take care of you or your children or pay for your weave or do anything like that. It's not my job, and nor is it my money. And to the let me have some chips. It's what I've had to be relegated to outside of being pushed out of my environment, out of constructive eviction. I literally have been forced outside of my apartment, my living allocations into the dross of the outer insistences of living because of organized criminal activity and people that use every network. And again, let me state that I don't judge people. I don't care about what you may be going through as to literally judge somebody for whatever struggle or whatever impairments that you have. Some people are quite kind and lovely. They state their own insistences. It's the persons that run around and they literally, you wake up every day, and I know this, and you're using invasive visual spyware, and you are literally you're infringing, just like they've taken the Wi-Fi towers inside of my apartment, so that they can, because they've had pings from their devices and MAC ID addresses to route onto my routers to know that these are aspects of evidentiary items that would be used so as to determine how often these devices were to ping, so that when law enforcement, as I've stated in these persons aspect, whom they are everyone that's literally, and some of you are being or have been, and if you're not, I hope you would never aspect to be stalked by very much organized rings that try to play yourself as crazy and remain anonymous, ensconcing and incorporating themselves with anonymity in corporate structures, residential structures, literally trying to become as if they are out of that 90s movie, The People Under the Stairs. And some of you, and I was in an apartment living, they may very well be under your stairs. They may be under you in vacant apartments and all these other aspects, waiting till you go out and make a living for yourself so that I can, pay for my own chips and get and not literally have to wait to go shopping in somebody else's like refrigerator. And I'm being very factual. These are things that have happened. And these persons, it is a mental disorder to, if when something interferes with your ability to make a living, and let that be your delusionality, your mindscape, or your rogue behavior. I'm not buying it. I'm not, again, I'm not paying for anything for any of these persons that will start to call them out by names. I don't have anything against your children. I feel sorry for your children. It's not in the best interest of the child. And that is per this state, that these children have to literally, and the state has wonderful people. There are wonderful people that go to churches. There are wonderful people in some sororities and fraternities. There are some people that literally their life's dream is to literally raise a family and have kids that they could usher into the right direction, had it with the propensity to have aspectual emotional groundedness and reasonable minded insistences per anyone else in Aristotle's court of common minded people. If not, or but for your insistences to misalign these absorbing psychological states of young adults and or persons that can't aspect for their own insistences with the full fusing of their brain, which happens usually when people are at least 25 years of age. And so it's very disheartening, and I do feel sorry for that. But this is why the state has aspects to then remove you from custody until your child is 18, especially after two bouts of 2 week spans, of which you can go to a magistrate or a provisioning judge to literally use as a tactic to break your enterprise with organized criminal activity and insistences on indoctrinizing children and or absorbing young adults into fraudulent inducement patterns of behavior and installating this as a framework. This is just like playing video games that persons are trying to sue these different companies with in regards to weaponizing video games. And other people have things about weaponizing music to unassuming or aspecting propaganda like insistences towards vulnerable persons. You're an entire propaganda machine to your children by letting them view an aspect of you not learn about being literally broke minded and not wanting to relegate yourself past any point that makes consistent aspectual sense. If anything, you should let your children witness your insistent climb up Jacob's ladder so that you can thus they can have a story about how resilience is literally affixed within their structures and has garnered them the emotional capacity to try beyond what they were given. Everyone had, a lot of people have maneuvered past the scratches that started out in lives, and now they're clawing their way around life, and they're not literally aspecting. And I don't have a mental condition. See, a mental condition is aspecting that you want somebody to feel sorry for you, and you don't help yourself or help anybody else to help you. Like old people said, my grandparents used to say, if you help yourself, maybe God will help you. Like, it's just, some sort of sensibility that you have some sort of human regard within yourself. And let me tell you, I don't care how many of you black, brown, white, whatever colors that you come in. I don't care how many people that have on professional clothes that you sleep with and have sexual relationships with that give you comfort, that house you, and if you house a terrorist, because this is what they're called, if you let them charge your phone in their house and they get away, you're going to be jointly and severally liable. As far as it comes to myself and aspecting these evidentiary claims, I'm going to always make sure that you remember that, because most persons, if you are keeping the company of jealous people, as I've insisted upon a past video, you're going to literally incur a loss. As well as I have stated, that you people go to those churches, those buildings that you call churches with crosses and whatever else that has on there, and you're still not learning. The verse is, "Be careful of keeping the company of jealous people. You will cause those to die that should not, to lose out on their benefits that should not." Some of you are realizing that now, and you're going to be subpoenaed as coming to court so that you can aspect why you are an accomplice and or liable for the reckless qualities that you insist upon sleeping with. It's not my, you have the full aspectual propensity to sleep with broke people. I never have. Again, I'm saying that again. I don't know how some of you are doing, and I don't have any problem. I don't want anybody, I don't care about what you can literally, you can sleep with invisible people for all I care. I'm going to ask you, how does it make you feel good inside? I don't care. But when you bring your problems and you bring your broke relationships into my address and relocate your problems to every other place that I choose to reside in, where I have a legal right to be with my government issued ID, as to insist upon leaving any type of realm that you are in, that you are beyond stalking and beyond being predatory. This is what wild freaking dogs do in Africa, Serengeti. And that they're mere animals, and you are too. You smell like it too, and you behave like it, and with all of the saliva that comes to foam at your mouth, aspecting any type of communicable disease that insists upon what you have going on right now. Aspecting any other contaminant within building structures that you have to ask it to harass myself. So again, I say all of these things to state that if you have the aspect to get the hell up and harass me up for violation under this penal code 4207, stalk me violation under this penal code 4207, um, at cyber stalk me across different instances, whether you think that I'm in this state or that state, this does become a federal issue that's under IC3.gov. And you literally have bribed state jail felony and prospects that are in professional clothes. This is enabling these types of persons. That's a mental condition. To be an enabler means that is an aspect of someone taking over your mentality and aspecting that you're not especially mentally fit. It's almost an insistence of some sort of low self-esteem that these sociopaths are aspecting. I don't care about taking care or enabling anybody. I have full esteem of myself in that regard. And I'm not saying that you may be incompetent, but you surely can learn about. Look it up. You know, people don't believe me. Maybe you'll understand it once Google aspects. Enabling a person and what instances that this lies in, that you need to relegate and sort of garner a spine for yourself and not let someone take advantage of your loneliness or any aspect of your own money that's deserved of yourself because you've done the work there. No one is entitled. It's not woe is me or anyone else. Nothing falls out of the sky. I keep saying this. I get tired of having to teach people how to be adults. And unfortunately, this is why some of you don't need to have your damn children in the house, because this is what you should have learned at home. And if you didn't learn it at home, you should have learned it of yourself instead of going into these trifling relationships and wasting people's time so that they can tell you about how to be a better adult to themselves, which is the correct aspect. You need to tell and teach someone how they're going to behave towards yourself. It's not, you can't just behave towards everyone the way that you are with the last person. It changes per person, and that's having a regard for your own emotional boundaries as a part of insisting upon not being an enabler. And I'm telling you how you're not going to treat me. I'm not taking care of your children. I'm not buying your weave. I'm not doing any of that. I'm not buying your Taco Bell. That's not my damn job. And it's not my job to literally be a babysitter in my house about your children that you need to be paying for daycare with, or make sure that you stop engaging in organized criminal activity with trifling persons, despite being under some sort of dupe or someone, giving you a false pretense, or, creating a distortion of the perception of reality. You need to go file a lawsuit against them and stay away from me, my addresses, everywhere I have a government right to be with my government, or I have a right to be with my government issued ID, and leave everything that has to do with myself alone. Leave my clothes alone. These are things I'm having to tell adults in life. And let's say some names. So, Jason, Jarrell, should we go? And it's staggering, and I don't like to talk about some women folk. I like to direct my aims at men, and like I tell people, even with all the whatever that may be going on with myself, that's my business. I'm outside a lot of times, all day, every day. I'm not hiding. I mean, clearly, you see my skin color. You can see me very well in daylight. I'm outside every day, and none of these men are. They're literally in the attic spaces, or at my address on Westheimer. Um, uh, you know, a couple of lights. I show it's on the video. I showed the aspect of the property going into my door with a drill screwdriver, in trying to use the state's processes against me, and to aspect an illegal eviction, and that my security alarms cameras captured, and I have as evidentiary claim. If there is a legitimate jurisdiction over the facilitation, you should have had a key to get inside of that facilitation, especially when I was not there, to insist upon a wellness check or anything else. That is prima facie evidence, and it sticks as unlawful. You don't file an eviction, especially when there's an aspect of stalking, especially 6 months after an incident number, which is a government receipt. But then again, instead of understanding these things, they walk into these instances of fraud and organized criminal activity. Irregardless, if you did not know the entirety of the scheme, the moment you made yourself connected, attached, you became an accomplice. And there is, under the liability clause, making yourself a new party, law of parties in this aspect. You see how this does then, these people are still having children that they take to school, that they, if they go to school, and you're going to get truancy as well. Yeah, it's pitiful. I said that all to state that every time that there's a different issue, every time that you cross facilitations enacting aggravated criminal trespass, engaging in organized criminal activity as the statute with three or more persons, and literally using these weird harassment tactics to control what the hell I eat, try to take away my insistent nodes, not perfect, towards health aspects of eating healthy foods because you are insulin resistant and you want misery loves company. You want everyone else to have the same amount of visceral fat that you have, at least inside of your brain. Like it, stop bribing people. Stop aspecting commercial bribery. Stop insisting upon forms of quote unquote, and as a quasi form of espionage, not in the sense that you're trying to overthrow some forms of United States business structures, though you are, like it, as well as the municipal, is regarded as well. You need to take care of your children. The moment that you wake up and grown men, you need to wear your, you need to put, well, you need to make sure you zip up the front of your own pants and stay off of my zipper. I'm not with that. I'm not with those that you need to go clear up your STDs and your STIs. And it's a literal, look it up again. Most don't want to listen to myself in this regard. Neurosyphilis is a very real aspect. You not cleared this up. And the first time that after you've had unprotected sex, you're supposed to go to the emergency room to get a shot, not wait to clear and see if you get past a few coughs and feel better. No, you can have aspects that literally hide the bacterial overloads and infections hide in different tissues of your body, including past your blood-brain barrier into your brain. And this is the latent form of syphilis, but they don't go get checked. They don't get to, this is not even a normal check for yourself as far as a check up. Like you become X'd out in this regard. And so you are literally infusing these problems as if you are moody or you have a problem. You have more than regulation problems in regards to multiple other psychosomatic aspects, but you definitely are insisted upon some factor that is an STI that has become uncontrollable and lodged itself in between your head space and your mouth and your hands. And literally, you don't know what you like. And unfortunately, it should not be me because I don't like you, um, man. And I don't want I guess I should be respectful. I don't want your female either. I don't want them in my house. I don't want you. I don't want to smell your feet. I don't want to smell your musty other parts. That is just like the animal kingdom phylum genus, very much obvious and very much disgusting to my sensibility of nodes. And if I have to continue, I'm going to always make sure, because with the standard of duty to care, I want to make sure that my victim's crime or Bill of Rights is maintained and met, and that the Constitution of this state is met as well. I don't care. You're gonna, like I said, you're gonna have to kick my ass. You're gonna have to show the hell up and kick my ass. And I would love to see that happen. That as taught some of you, I mean, I'm not short my damn self, but I'm definitely sure some of you you're too motherfucking big. Excuse the expletives, to be staying around hiding behind some punk or some other insulin resistant woman or somebody else that has this type of STI lodged in between their brain. And like everyone else that has made mistakes, they go get it cleared up. You sit there incubating like a petri dish, gone rogue in an eighth grade experiment, a science experiment, and you expect for I don't take these persons seriously at all. You cannot even wake up to go take care of your children. You don't read your children bedtime stories. I've talked more on this on this aspect than your child has heard about the own consonant utterances and vowel placements within your structure, so that they can at least speak correct English. It's not my fault that some of you women are sleeping with homosexual men. You need to take that up with your man. Um, uh, you men that I don't want you. I don't give a fuck how you think it looks. I don't give a fuck how slim you may think it presents. I don't want your ass. And let me say, whatever the hell persuasion that you may have misaligned in your, I don't like nothing broke. I need to be the brokest person that I know, and I don't go those types of ways. Not when you're a reasonable minded person and try to stay afloat because that's functional and professional for you to do so, so that you're not aspecting inflation within the culture or inflation within the municipal viable sector that you are, blue collar worker, and trying to fuck up the white collar, thinking that and taking over their houses. And when you white collar people let them take over your houses, they start thinking they can take over the government. That this is where seditious conspiracy starts to come in. You see municipal factors and law enforcement. When you actually do your job, you start to mitigate this decay of society. And or people that are trying to distort the perception of reality to play make believe that people should be taking care of their children or taking care of their sexual liaisons. I really want to get a bit, I want to use a few expletives, but why should I? These persons, some of your whole life is an expletive, and zip your own pants, stay out of my habitations. The constructive evictions that you try to aspect upon multiple instances of criminal trespass. And just let's make this also clear. You're somewhere and you do anything as much as turn on the light, use somebody else's, turn on some water, do anything else. This becomes burglary in this state. This is second degree burglary, even if it's in a commercial space and you're in the attic. Remember, we had this conversation platform last time. The persons that are these are not Lifetime movies anymore. You know, when your parents used to watch Lifetime movie network, some of these men, you're so estrogen dominant. You're feminine enough. You know, you like to you watch it too. Like it's not just in big suburban neighborhoods where people are living inside of the attic and waiting for someone to go to work so that they don't have to pay for a hotel room so that they can get so that you can purport brokenness. Like we're not sleeping together if you can't even pay for a hotel room, and a hotel suite. Some of them they're just happy to fuck in the lobby. Like it's a sad day in America. The representatives. I hope that after you guys get through having these party wars, that you have something that I'll vote for people that are learn how to break up enterprises by taking these persons' children out of the home, which is a part of the state. There's not it not even needed much more of probable cause. That's all it is. It doesn't need a formal investigation. It's probable cause and not in the best interest of the child in the state. I'm gonna keep saying this. So the moments that you want to beg to the courts as to why you are so literally emotionally tied to your child, but you cannot stop to even wake up to make breakfast for them first or teach them multiplication before you start enacting domestic terrorism towards another man because you are having delusional type of daydreams and circle jerking to some video that you think is stay out of my structures. Zip up your own pants. Stay away from my food allocations. Stay out of my bank accounts. Stop trying to use my goddamn social security number. These are things that go, stop trying to get copies of my ID up and give them away, Janicia Kinsey, like so that you can go and give to someone else or whom else that you're trying to help. Um, who else? Let's see. Mickey. Where, Mickey, not Mickey Mouse, motherfucker. Where are you? Where? It's 10 o'clock p.m. Where are your children? You don't fucking know. And a few of you as well. how many children do you have by multiple different babies mamas, and that you still stop trying to sleep with white people just so that you can make yourself look better about being a total baseline mess, and trying to relegate for them to try to pay for your children as well. And then getting mad at myself because you don't come across professional or well read. Well, you're well read now. And every time that you enact a violation or insistence of offense towards myself, that's under harassment too, to abuse, alarm, torment, vex, um, embarrass, offend. I'm going to keep reminding you publicly, because, or because, let me speak in full sentences, like the things that you should do towards your child. If you were to see them after school and help them with their school homework and not leave it all up to the teachers or some tutor that you still not asked about their mental comportment and how they fare in their grade. Bye. Well, maybe I should. Let me see. Maybe I should read. I'm going through this. Let's see. Hi, brother. It seems you're experiencing episodes of psychosis. No, that's your child. Okay, I'm not your brother as well. And everybody that's at this damn company that seems to be that are with that bitch, and everyone that's with KHOU or whatever, though, if they don't work there anymore, you're still jointly and severally liable because they used insider businesses to work at your company. You better get Michael, and you better get everybody else. And let me tell you about acoustical speakers. And you know that every police department in major cities, they use drones, correct? So that's a mitigating factor, so that, when you call 911 or something like that, that these persons are not risking their lives, and they literally have aerials. So this is a normal occurrence. And persons that work in sound engineering, Jennifer Gentry, anybody else that is Chris B, CBR, Miguel Denson, or anybody else that are, stop following me with your production equipment, Michael. Didn't you come? If it's since it's not you, don't you understand what it is? Haven't you been at my job facilitations with your camera to so that you can record to see about what is some sort of road traffic because there are wrecks? Tell your friends and persons that you are jointly and severally liable for to stop following me with acoustic speakers emitting infrasound and trying to listen with long-range acoustical devices, of which they can do so with 100 feet into my conversations to derive personal identifying information, so that you can garner some sort of numbers, addresses, information, so that y'all could go and have places where you can put your children, and or these homeless networks that you literally have ensconced around me. And not all homeless people. I'm never going to stop talking. I'm never going to stop educating about what really is going on. And I'm never going to stop telling people not to look on Google to verify my facts. And I'm never going to not have receipts more than enough to show every time that one of you have hit me up to try to fuck. I'm not experiencing psychosis, sir. This is called facts. And I'm big flexing. So what is your name? I'm sure I don't know you. Kappa Eaton. That's a lame ass screen name. Dismiss my name. Let's see. Hello, hi. How are you doing, Julia Kinzer? Hi. Yes, 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 yes. Margarita, how are you? How are you doing? And I like a hi, Margarita. I just had to come up here to aspect my qualms. Like I don't. I'm such a chill person. I mind my business, but when you literally embarrass yourself inside of my life, I'm going to reflect what the hell that you're doing, so that you can get back to something that's your own bathroom, and do something like look at your own self, or look at yourself in the mirror, and stop living in some sort of reflection that you're trying to aspect out of myself, because to those persons, I don't give a damn. Mm, 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 mm. Um, and it's again, it's not my problem that any one of these entities are running out of money. Stop using these trace hop diversions and injecting these malicious codes. This is look it up so that you can like not have any of my shorts videos. I don't care about becoming popular. I've been that in my time. That is that when you're in your youth, I don't need that. Some of my some everyone, a lot of people know that. Um, Stop doing it so that you can transfer to someone else's profile. They're trying to make money off of videos. But see, the kicker is I'm going to start telling I'm like, make money off of what I'm saying now about you and your circuit of organized criminal activity. It's the lamest thing. These are people that have never been cool as fuck at all in culture, and it shows. That's why they are literally waking up and literally sleeping in attics and having sex and commercial restrooms and every other element just so that they can inundate anybody that looks like they're trying to be vocal around myself or anything like that to take them over. And then the reasons that some of you sleep and suck broke dick, I am confused about. Like it oops, I was supposed to be like what? But they keep doing it. You know, I it's giving me heat rash. Like it's highly irritating. Stay the fuck away. I gotta bye for real, like straight the hell up. Everyone else, y'all have a good day. Eat you some dinner. Like happy you're good. I don't know what y'all do to relieve yourselves. I know I'm not relieving myself on any one of these broke motherfuckers. Like, are you sure? I'm sure I want to stop. Like,